Coming up on the round 23 edition of the Sunday Roast, Morgs, as always, it's me and you in the booth while Jeb's away. The Crows look like the real deal. So do the Cats, and the Blues finally get a win, Morgs. Now, we've done the numbers. The Blues need to win 7 wins in the next week to make finals. So there's still a hope.
Not writing them off, Darsk. You know where to find us. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. If you can do us a favour, please hit that bell on YouTube. It helps us out a lot so you get a notification. Hit the little bell. Follow us. Like us on Spotify. Makes such a difference. You know where to find us, Darsk. Let's roast. 2 more weeks to go. Finals. Jeff's back. It's all happening. And now, 100k Sports and PointsBet presents the Sunday Roast. Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, the show that celebrates the winners and roasts the losers, the show that gives you all the best bets of the odds you weren't on but you wish you were, powered by PointsBet. Darsk. It is round 23. We are halfway through. Currently Sunday morning, Darsk. Welcome to the Sunday Roast.
Thank you, Morgs. It's good to be back in the chair. Good to be back on the airwaves with you. Now, Morgs, the Blues finally get a win. We're pretty up and about. Now, to make finals, we need to get 7 wins next week. I don't know how we're going to do it, but to make finals, mathematically, that's what we have to do. I think we've left our run a little bit short, but the way we played yesterday gives me a bit of hope for next year. Very exciting, Morgs. Good to be back.
I love it. Obviously, if you haven't noticed the last couple of weeks, I'm in the chair for Jev. Jev's currently gallivanting around Europe. He's on the Italian diet, Darsk, which if the Italian diet was 4 breakfasts before lunch. He's eating lots of bread, sandwiches. So, yeah, shattered because obviously Freo lost on Friday night. It would have been great to have Jev here. We had a lot of messages about Sarong. So we need to get his thoughts on that and let him uncage him. But we're going to go backwards, which we've been doing a little bit, Darsk. So the Crows beat the Pies. Pies have lost 5 out of the last 6. 59-56 it was. Low-scoring affair because the rain came. But it was still a pretty good game and an awesome finish.
It was. Just quickly want to touch on, as we are a betting show as well, Morgs.
Yes.
The odds that I gave out, or the little hint I gave before this game for Adelaide Collingwood. I said the Pies plus 17.5 at $1.90. Collingwood have covered the line in each of its last 6 night matches at Adelaide Oval. Tick.
Yes, you did say that.
Collingwood's last 5 matches have gone under the total match points, 164.5, which was a big tick. And also, Morgs, either team to win by 15 points or less at 290. Each of the last 5 matches between Adelaide and Collingwood have been decided by a margin of 15 points or less. So all 3 of those little tips, Morgs, hit. So
They hit more than they don't.
I know. It's actually unbelievable. So
You're a wizard.
let's roast.
Come on.
Let's roast. So to win a premiership, you need a lot to go right, Morgs. I think you'd have to agree. A good run of health, players buying, getting some good teams at the right time, and some players to be playing their best footy at the pointy end of the year. In 2023, I think the Pies lost a few games coming towards the back end of the year, but this feels different, don't you think? So
Yes,
the
for
Pies
sure.
have lost 5 of the last 6, as you said. They were 10 points clear on top, which we've all lauded. It's like, awesome, get yourself there. Then you can almost rest players coming towards the back end of the year. But they've had 3 small losses and a couple of really big ones. So they lost to the Suns by 6 points, one point against Freo. But then it was 27 to Brisbane. They lost to Hawthorn by 64 points. And then Adelaide by 3. So let's start with the most gettable duo in the game, Darcy Moore and Billy Frampton. So if you line up against them, you're going to kick a bag. So their defense is absolutely, whatever they're doing, it's not working at the moment. They're not quick enough to come third man over the top. They're not strong enough to hold you down in a position. Pat Voss has kicked 6. Logan Morris kicked 6. Henry Smith came in for his first game in forever, kicked 3. Gunston, Chol, and Meek. So Gunston had 4 the week before. Chol had 3. And then Meek, yes, I know he's a ruckman, but going back down, he took some nice marks, and neither one of those defenders were able to come over the top and kill the ball. So they consistently get led to the ball. They can't win a crucial one-on-one. Or as I said, Morgs, they can't kill the ball. So they're the most gettable defenders in the game at the moment. But you got Ned Long in the middle, Morgs. At times looks like a lost puppy in the midfield. So Tom Mitchell, I went back and looked. Maybe I should have been across this a little bit more. It said that he was omitted. So I'm assuming he was dropped. He wasn't injury. Pissing down in the rain yesterday, that is his bread and butter. Yep. That is what he's crafted a career on, especially in the second half of his career. He's an inside to out player. Like, that is his craft. You look at Will Ashcroft, we always talk about midfielders that have an unbelievable good touch. Will Ashcroft can do it. Lachie Neale can do it. That's what Tom Mitchell does in this side. He doesn't have to be flashy. He goes and gets the ball and distributes it to the outside. So him not being in the side, again, if he was actually injured, that is on me, but it said omitted, so maybe I should have been across that a little bit more. Now, I'm not sure if you heard, Morgs. Did you know the inside 50s? 71 to 37. Did you hear about that? The inside 50s? Well,
I did hear.
Obviously, we've gone at the defenders, but let's go at the forward line. So I've said it since the offseason. The Pies don't have a 1. They've got 3 threes. So they've actually got Elliott playing the 1, but they've got Mychek, McStay, and Membry. At the moment, they look like a forward line that have 90% of the tickets, but they still can't win the meat raffle, Morgs. That's what it looks like. So they've combined for 8 goals in the last 3 weeks. 8 goals in the last 3 weeks. That's not going to get the job done. That's not going to put the cream on top of the cake. What is Lockie Schultz? What is Harry Perriman? What is Isaac Quainer? Like, what happened to the best inside 50 kick in the comp, Patrick Lipinski? Like, it's more than alarm bells at Collingwood, Morgs, and they just can't rely on Nick Dacos to get the job done and take you to the promised land every single week. So there is a lot to look at with Collingwood, and I'm not confident for them coming in towards the back end of the year.
I love the side of the bed you've got out of this morning. I love it. It sort of feels like both the forward line and the midfield, and potentially even the defenders. It's like they've got someone to come back in. It's like the forward line's playing with like someone that's out. That you're right. They're just playing their role players, and all of a sudden it's like this is pretty much the full squad. Like Pendles was the leading disposal getter. What, at half time? I think it was. Or definitely it was at quarter time. It's like just these role players are getting found out a little bit, and when you're winning, it's like what a great role player Quaynor is. But then all of a sudden, when you're under a little bit of a pressure, which is I guess all premiership sides, you all get found out when the whips are cracking. But yeah, I think it feels like they got Bobby Hill, which. A small forward, how much impact can you have? Like, regardless of the quality of small forward, that seems like they're just missing that one person, but there's no one really coming in.
Well, that's what I want to touch on as well. So you need a good run of health, but you also need players buying in at the right time. And like, obviously, we've had Degoe, he hasn't been able to get his body right.
Yep.
You got Bobby Hill, whether it's family reasons or gastro, he's still out of the side, and they've lost a few games by a few points. They've started him sub one of the games. Obviously, he switched on with Degoe that game, but they just don't look like a side that are firing, and I can't see them, if they lose next week, or there's still potential they can miss the top 4, I can't see them winning 4 games and winning the flag now. They just haven't hit the form coming in towards the back end of the year.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, like they genuinely peaked at the wrong time, which I suppose is a tricky one because you want to be playing well at all times. So, but it does sort of look like that's what's happened middle of the year.
Yeah, 100%. But let's go with a bit of positive.
Yes.
So thank fuck Matty Nix won this game, or else he would have been copping it.
Yeah.
So I think they lost their last 11 against the Pies. It got down into the last little bit. They didn't they didn't unleash the shackles. They made it very defensive, playing people behind the ball. But Adelaide, they always get touted as the no-name backline, the unsung heroes, but not anymore, Morgs. Not anymore. So a group of Crows, when they're together, they're called a murder of Crows.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So I'm naming their backline the Serial 6.
I love it.
That is what they are. They are unbelievable, and we have to start naming these players. So with 1 round to go, they have the best points against in the AFL, so 70.4. And the game, they have the second best points differential in the comp. So per game, it's 29.9. Only Geelong are better this year with 30. So only 0.1 off Geelong. So they're the best defensive side, and then the second best offensive side. So overall, they're second in the comp. And yes, they play to a system, but we need to laud these players. Nick Murray, he's a big bastard. He won't get you 20 touches. He had 4 yesterday, but he competes. Brodie Smith wound back the clock. His first half, he was everywhere. Hinge and Malira, Morgs, your man Hinge. They defend, but they make plays. They look to advance the ball. Mark Keane, your man as well, the Wombat down back. He doesn't fucking flinch, Morgs. He sits in the hole and defends for his life and for his country. And then Josh Worrell. He's going to be a 5-time All-Australian, Morgs. 24 years old, beautiful decision maker, intercepts. He's tough. Can't get enough of him. And they've still got Max Michael-Andy to come back as well. They can win the flag. 100%. I'm not saying anything new, but they've shown now that they've got depth. They can defend and they can attack. So yesterday wasn't their best offensive game, but we know they've got it in them. They had some holes in their game over the last few years. They've gone from 15th to 1st on the ladder, and they are going to be a very, very tough side to beat come September.
Oh, I thought it should be noted too. Their 4 of their top 5 disposal getters: Worrell, Keane, Millera, Hinge. So 4 out of their top 5 disposal getters, and then obviously you had Jordan Dawson in there. So, yeah, I love the Serial 6. What I am interested to see is, can they make 3 omissions to bring in Max, Michael, and Annie? It's gonna be,
true.
I can't see room in the side for all 3, but, yeah, definitely one to come back in.
I love how the media grabs stuff and then they run with it. So I'm going to put on the radar now. Jay-Z Clark already went with it yesterday. He does my head in. I can't stand him.
He's a big fan of yours.
Mate, yesterday, he's just saying some stuff. He's like, it's the biggest thing I've ever seen in the game, in the history of the game. It's like, shut up. So Matty Nix was talking after the game, and Kingy's trying to pump him up. And he's like, as a wise man once told me, there's always like next week. Like we have to move on quickly. And that's Alex Neil-Bullen. And that's what he said. So he had high praise. And then Jay-Z Clark's going, he's like, yeah, the culture and what Alex Neil-Bullen's brought into the club. Like, watch him go with this 10 times this week and talk about the culture of Alex Neil-Bullen when he never would have had that on his radar. I can't stand little tiny hands Clark.
Did you hear? I don't dislike him as much as you, but did you hear when he said you just wonder if Simon Goodwin and the D's wouldn't have hit that button on the trade requests?
Oh, mate, fuck off.
Like, just wanted to go home, family reasons. You're always going to, I don't think that's going to be something good he thinks about again, but I loved how deep he was digging there.
Yeah, so he says that, and then he's like, maybe it's time to try and trade a few pieces at Melbourne. Maybe try and get Petrarca out of the club. Let's get some picks back. Maybe let's do that with Oliver. What else can we do in the club? And then he's just saying about Alex Neil-Bullen. He's a fucking idiot. I can't stand him.
I just wanted to very quickly touch on, because I thought it needed to be said. So Jev's premiership pie 3 weeks ago, and I've not shut up about this in our group chat, Das. So a lot of comments, like one, Jade and G, I'm a Crom fan, but how have people given up on the Pies this quick? Their form can be easily explained by injuries and resting. All right, 675 likes. So Jev said the Pies look beatable, sue me. I'm quoted him word for word. Yeah. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Raphael Greavesby, Collingwood lose to 2 teams in a row by less than a goal, and people are already jumping ship. It's crazy. It's like, is he going to come back and reply to that message?
Are we gonna tag him in it?
No, we won't. We won't be like that.
I will. I feel that should be my role as part of the 100K. I feel that should be my role to bring these people to the court, to the 100K court, and I'm going to ask where they stand on it now.
I like the idea of raising it in our own forum, but just letting them be like, Eamon Mitchell, are you fucking stupid? He's got Giants, Crows, and Lions on top. Giants just beat the Suns, who everyone loves. They probably could be equal with Geelong, but that's purely opinion. Jev's ball knowledge needs to be studied. I think that was a negative comment, but that probably needs to be positive now because Jev looks fucking genius. The pie, this was the pie, and obviously we're going to get into the other games. 16% Adelaide, 16% Lions, 16% GWS. 12% Collingwood, 12% Geelong, 8% Hawthorn, 8% Freo, 5% Dogs.
Beautiful.
It looks incredibly accurate right now.
It looks like he's just made it.
It honestly does. You might swap Geelong and GWS.
I need to bring people to the court because if they've gone out of their way to comment, they've gone out of their way. Well, now it's time to come back out of your way, and you need to respond.
Maybe we should do a post and you like talk to the camera, you read the comment out and just tag them and see if they come to the comments or not.
Yeah, in the story. Yeah, I
like it. Do it like a court style. No malice in it, but I just want to know where they sit on it.
100%. Well, that's good.
100%.
Huge win.
Massive
so happy
win
for them. I'd love to see them. There's a few teams I'd love to see on grand final day.
Yep.
Adelaide are one of them. I'm actually really happy with all the sides this year. I just don't think Collingwood have the gas to go the back end of the year. I'd love to see Geelong in there. Love to see Adelaide. Love to see Brisbane. The Giants, you'd love to see. The Suns, if they somehow manage to get themselves over the line. I think I'd still have to see the Hawks. Obviously, no Will Day, so I'd be shattered that you just want to see all the teams that are fit and healthy.
Yep.
So, no one misses out. And I feel those other sides that are healthy, like Adelaide, they look primed and ready to go.
I think as a footy fan as well, just having guaranteed 1, most likely 2 home finals at Adelaide Oval, great place to watch footy. The fans show out. It's a good TV product. So I think that's a win for footy.
You'd love to see Tex win one. Really 100%. Good.
The big Dallas.
Good. Yeah, big Dallas.
All right, Dallas, that's good. That's a good little coverage of celebration and roast. Let's go. We're going backwards. So we'll go, Carlton Port?
Nah, we'll go Hawks Melbourne. We'll work backwards in timeline. So the Hawks will be stoked that the new coach bump has worn off. So as Hawks fans, they would have been applauding Melbourne for their efforts last week. Happy they got that out of their system. So then they could just go through and do what they wanted with the D's. So, Morgs, it's a bit weird. So it was a 4:15 game. It was Stephen May's 200th. He must have had a booking post-game at 6:30 with his friends and family. So he knew he couldn't cancel the booking. and he wouldn't have enough time to have a shower after the game. So
Right.
he allowed Jack Gunston to give him a boiling hot bath, rub him up, clean, so after the game he could just get changed straight away and straight off he goes. So it speaks volume to the sort of person that Gunston is, to think of others like that.
Yes.
Go out, scrub him up nice and clean. They cheer him off. He puts his suit on and then straight out he goes to dinner. So Gunston had 14 disposals, kicked 7 goals for, 13 score involvements, 10 marks inside 50. Like, he's aging backwards.
Yep, it's
He's
unbelievable.
So I'm not sure now. I'm not comparing him to LeBron.
Okay.
I'm not saying this at all. So don't clip this, Morgs. Gunston and LeBron are identical. But
Can't promise anything.
LeBron, from when he started his career, like, I guess the saying is, like, he was jumping out of the gym. Like, he was dunking on people, getting to the rack, super explosive. And then you look towards the back end of his career, he's shooting a lot more threes. He's seen every defense in the game, and he almost plays off his experience. I think that's similar to Jack Gunston. Not that he was ever a super high flyer, but he isn't going to take mark of the year. He's not going to turn you inside out and beat you back towards goal. But his slight body movement, his leading patterns, and his synergy with all other teammates allows him to be the player that he is. Like, some of the balls coming inside 50 to him yesterday were like only he can mark it. It was almost like a receiver running a slant in the NFL, and they just put the ball in the perfect spot. Yes, he still has to mark it. Yes, he still has to create the space, but there was some behind the goal footage, and he just looked like, was it Moses that parted the sea? Who was it that parted the sea? Joseph, Moses.
I'm not big on my.
Let's go with Moses. It's like
Sure.
they parted the sea, and Gunston just had these leading lanes, and the defenders did not want to go with him. And whether it was D'Ambrosio, Amon, like guys from the half back line actually hitting up as well as the mids, and just hitting him on the tit. Like, it was a feature. So if you didn't watch the game, probably go back and watch the KO Mini. Shout out to KO. Seeing it better than ever, of course.
Of course.
New sponsor of the pod, I hope. But yeah, like, it just goes to show, if you can hold on to some of these guys that have real good ball knowledge, obviously they've got as much as they could out of Bruce the last few years. But you look at what Tex has been able to do for the last few years as well. If you've got these guys, if you can keep them healthy and they know what they're doing in a really good team, like, fuck, he's had his career best goals ever in his career, and that is including finals in, I think, 2014, where it was All-Australian. So I think he's a one-time All-Australian. I think you can size him up for his second All-Australian, because he was unbelievable yesterday.
I just love as well. I think like there was maybe just some reverse bias about his spot in the All-Australian. It was sort of like the question was, can he be All-Australian? And I think sort of people were probably looking for reasons to not give it to him. I'm not really sure why, just probably where he is in his career. It wasn't necessarily a knock on him. But I just love he's literally made himself undeniable. Like, you can't have the impact he's having and kick the goals that he's kicked. So I struggle to see how he doesn't make it.
Yeah, well, you got a few guys kicked over 50 this year, like Thilthorpe, Norton has, Gunston has. And the thing is, because the midfielders bat so deep in the AFL, so it just depends on how many midfielders they push forward. Like, they'll probably put Ed Richards as a half forward, I'm assuming, or if not, maybe like chuck him on a wing. But yeah, you know, they always chuck a few going forward. But again, the Hawks are getting right at the right time of the year. Like, you look at them and Collingwood, whether they finish on the ladder, who would you take at the moment?
Yeah, Hawthorn for sure.
So Dylan Moore had a really quiet, I guess, most of the year, you'd say, after being All-Australian last year. He had 32 and 2 yesterday. Can anyone, Hawks in the comments, can you guys let me know? So Jarman Impey had 29 again yesterday. Can someone ask me or tell me where he finishes in your best and fairest? I'm assuming he'd be top 3. He's had an awesome season. My man Connor McDonald, man Connor McDonald. So he rarely gets over 20 disposals. Yesterday he had 28, kicked 1 goal, 3, missed some easy chances, but he could have close to a career game. They've just got some players. They had the luxury of just subbing Nick Watson out. He only had the 3 touches, kicked a goal. But obviously with Bruce retiring, they go up to the Gabba next week. It almost felt like to me that he might not be playing in the final series. And that potentially was his last game at the MCG, barring an injury coming forward. So I feel Nick was having a bit of a quiet game, and he looked happy to go off. He put the jacket on. He was smiling in the back of the dugout. And then Bruce went on, kicked an awesome goal. And, yeah, what a player he's been. And they were talking about it after. And we always said, if you're a small forward to kick over 500 goals, like, you have to be considered I'm not sure what the Rushmore is, whether it's like Toby Green will be in there when it's all said and done. Stephen Milne, Eddie Betts. Like, you put Bruce in there, he's at your 4 for the modern era. Yeah, like, what a player. And the fact is, like, I posted a video earlier yesterday, but to still kick 500 goals over your career, spanning in when you're not the first banana, you're not the second, not the third, not the fourth, probably the fifth in that. Like, I know Puopolo didn't play as many games, but the first choice of ball goes to, this is talking back to the early Hawthorn days, like 2013. Roughhead gets the ball, Franklin gets the ball. If not, it's Gunston. If not, it's Cyril. And then Bruce gets the scrap. So to still kick, as it stands, 553 AFL goals is just wild. That is so many goals.
as a small forward as well, just an absolute graveyard of the game. And I think he's played, 307 games, something like that?
Yeah, so I think third most ever in Hawks history. So he tied Sam Mitchell yesterday. I think awesome. Lee Matthews and Michael Tucker above him now.
Yeah, and I just, as well, on the back of all of that, like, doesn't Mitchell just continue to look like a genius? Like, say what you want about their record, but obviously copped all that flack for letting some players go and sort of rebuilding, but then to turn around on that and bring back Gunston and continue to get something out of Bruce. Like, he looks like he's got his finger on the pulse, not only as a coach, but just building a list, which I know is not all him, but he obviously has a pretty big say on it. Do you want to roast anyone from the D's, Das?
I think they've checked out.
I've got one for you, unless you've got one that's fresh.
Yeah, no, well, I sort of gave a little bit to Stephen May, but...
Yeah. And he's 250th. He'll love that.
Yeah, no, he will. He listens to the show.
I put a thing out on Instagram, more so for the second part, but one that came straight through. So Ben Hope said Cozzy Pickett looked like he didn't give a single fuck against the Hawks yesterday. I quickly had a look at his contract. They've signed him for 9 years, 12 million worth approximately. So someone in their first year of signing that contract just can't check out. Now, I didn't notice it as much as obviously Ben Hope did. What are your thoughts on Cozzy? And do we just write this off because it is that end of the year and we go again next year? Or can you do that for someone that's just signed 9 years, 12 mil?
Probably not, but Melbourne couldn't get their hands on it. So he had 4 touches in the first half and he was running around. Like, you know when you see him in the screen a lot? Mm-hmm. Just couldn't impact, just couldn't get his hands on it.
Yep.
Again, I think he's great. His far outweighed this game and the magnitude of the game. Mm-hmm. Even after signing, it's not like he's gone to soup. He had, I think, 3 or 4 games in a row where he was close to 20-3.
For sure.
I think he's been awesome. I think yesterday was a down day. It's hard to poke at someone's effort. I feel like he's been he's going to be the cornerstone of the D's for the next 9 years.
Yep.
Like, he's going to be the bargaining agreement. While if you are going to get players in, they're going to come for Cozzy. They're going to want to play with Cozzy. Yeah, like, he obviously didn't have his best game. Yes, maybe borderline uncompetitive, but fuck, so many others were. Not one person wanted to stand in front of Gunston. Not one person wanted to check any of the midfielders running out. So I think it was a whole team effort of being absolutely crap. But yeah, no, the D's did definitely lower their colours yesterday. I must say that.
No, you get that. And Ben Hope will probably be looking for more of a roast, but I like the measured approach from you. We just sort of write that off. Needs to be better, but yeah, definitely not a whole year drop off. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
I was going to say, Max Gawn, how fucking good is he? I know we got to roll through.
Yeah.
I think he's like, if you had to say, I've probably sprung you with this, but top 5 players outside of Carlton, would he be in yours? He'd be in mine.
Currently, right now?
Yeah, so I think I've got the Wiz at 1.
Right.
Zach Butters at 2.
Yep.
Matt Rowell at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Will Ashcroft at 4. And I think Max Gawn rounds out my 5, my 5th favourite players. I just fucking, like, how much would you like to go to war with Max Gawn? If he played in your time, Big Maxi, you'd have to lean over to pat me on the head. But how good would it be having him in your side? Like, the ball's coming out of D50. You see Big Maxi take a mark, pump it back in. He's just a warhorse, Maxi.
I'll work on my list for Tuesday. It would probably go like Malcolm Rojas 1.
Nice.
And yeah, I'll push out the rest on Tuesday.
It'd be a hell of a list.
Oh, it would be.
Can't wait for it.
Next game, if you're waiting for odds, probably not. We're going to do it all at the end. So we'll just keep steamrolling through. And this one I'm keen to get through pretty quickly, Das. Our Surrey Blues get a win over Port at home. We couldn't really believe the line and the odds of this game head-to-head on Tuesday night. But yeah, Carlton win 118-64. They kicked, 37-0, I think, in the first quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, weird to see us steamrolling aside. Port are just quinced.
We must start off. Happy to have our good mate back on the roast. Brandon Zirk Thatcher. We've missed you, buddy. So these two, him and Alirali get runners up in the Bath Award. May got absolutely squeaky clean. These two copped their own little Bath. They were swapping and changing, so we'll give them the runners up. But oh my God, they got scrubbed up by H. So it's good to see the big fella getting bags kicked on him again. I'd love to know if we probably need a better stats guy in the back to figure out who's had the most goals kicked on them directly in the last 4 years. With the Hawkins matches up and a couple others, I think Brandon Zirk Thatcher would have to be up there. Him or Luke McDonald. Luke McDonald, I think over a career, probably has acquainted to the most goals kicked on him. But I'll tell you what, Brandon Zirk Thatcher, that was... Him and Alirali got pushed around. So sometimes we give it to Harry for not being tough enough or looking tough enough. He did. Actually, no, he didn't really. You know how some people assert their dominance? Did you see when he got it and he sort of pushed the ball into Darcy Byrne-Jones's face and then almost apologized for it?
Yeah.
Harry, we want you to commit. We want you to push him over. We want you to be a big fella. But why are we cooking Cripper in the ruck? Why are we doing that? Because yesterday we saw, I think, a flash in the pan of life without De Koning, and we have to do it more. But putting Harry in the ruck, so he had 21 disposals. He was able to push up the ground. There was a goal that he kicked in the back end of the game. So he went into the middle and he was on Ollie Lord for Port Adelaide. And then there was obviously another changeover. De Koning's come back on and Ollie Lord didn't know De Koning was back on. And then Harry took him all the way down to the goal square. And then he got the mismatch on him because he knew it was too quick for him and then took the mark and goal on him. So that's where we need to exploit Harry Mackay more. I think he looked way more confident, kicked a goal out of the pack as well. That's where he has to be doing more damage as opposed to just sitting down back, rotting away in the goal square, not getting good entries. When he can start to stretch the game a little bit more, I thought he was way better. Port have checked out. Now, I do want to mention as well, I know it sort of sounds like I'm roasting my own team, but...
You're allowed.
I know people think that I must hate Jesse Mollop. I must hate the reverse mouse. I don't. And look, I'm sure that me and him would actually really get along. Seems like a fun
it's nothing
guy.
personal.
No, he seems like a fun guy. But in saying that, when we dominate a side and we kicked 18 goals, Morgs, for the game, and you don't trouble the scorers, Jesse, fuck. Even if he's a flat track bully, I will take that. I will take if he kicks bags against North, against Richmond, against St Kilda when they've got no players in, against Port Adelaide at home. But I would actually love for him to just give me fucking something. Just give me something. 8 touches and a behind will not do it. So this offseason, go get a coffee with Jack Higgins. Go get a coffee with Luke Bruce. Go reach out to Eddie Betts and take Durden with you. And let's figure out how we can kick some fucking goals as being a small forward because it just does me rocking. It does my rocking. You can't have 8 disposals and a point in a game like this. You can't. If we're kicking goals... I want Jesse Mollop to be at the top of the stat sheet. Getting some Joe Lagousas out the back. A bit of forward craft.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes, me too. Surely, small forward has to be on the radar this offseason. It just has to be.
It does. And also, I do want to give a little bit of love. Frankie Evans has been kicking a few goals. Sam Walsh, 66% game time, Morgs, comes in, plug and play. 28 touches, should have had a few goals. He just didn't make the distance on a few of them, but I did want to... He said he went out subbed injured, but for any Carlton fans out there, Cooper Lord, he's one of the best inside 50 kicks. This year, the whole year for us, he always looks to pass it off. He never tries to blaze away. And the amount of times he looks for Cripps, whether he just loves him, but the amount of times this year that he's lowered the eyes and tries to hit him lace out, he did another 2 or 3 times yesterday. So Cooper Lord, I think he's doing a really good apprenticeship under Cripper. and I thought he had an awesome game. I think he's had a really good building up year, so hopefully he can play some more midfield minutes, and he can be a player for the Blues going forward.
No, I love that. A little bit of positivity from you. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing more to add to that game. I think, again, people know where we stand on Port. I'm not sure about this whole Ken Hinkley thing, but good on him. Enjoy the rest of the year. Kenny won't be too bothered. And the Blues, again, it's not really a result that matters. Like we said last week against the Suns, this is the same in a win.
I've got one as well. Christian Morales plays for Port Adelaide. If you go look at his photo on the AFL at Morgs, it looks like he's shitting himself. But I mentioned it once before, so number 31. Can someone take him to the barber and clip his neck hairs?
Okay.
I've never seen a man with more neck hairs than Christian Morales. Like, just go clip your neck. They come out the side. They're like the Wolverine. You know, he's got the chops, like the sideburns. He's got them on his neck. Like, can someone clip his neck?
We do need to get it up. Go have a look at the photo. One, you've added an L to his name, and there's no L Morales. It's just Morales, I think.
I think they pronounce it Morales.
Okay, silent L. And yeah, he does look like he's having a shit. So that's just high quality analysis that you get here on the Sunday Roast. Let's move on from that awful situation that is Carlton and Port Adelaide. So this one is a bit better game to talk about. Suns, Giants. Giants get it done. Now, I forget the stat. I think Giants have won 11 of the last 12. Is that right, Dars?
No, it's 15 of the last 16 now.
Fucking hell. 15 of the last 16 is wild. 111 to 76. 17 goals, 9 to 11-10. This was again, Dars, that kicking up masterclass that the Suns did to the Lions. You can't beat a side that kicks 17-9. There's just too many opportunities. You have a shot at goal. It just means so much. As we always talk about, goes back to the center. There are just, again, I've coined the phrase, good kicking is good football.
Yeah.
Right? And it's come true again. Do you want to roast? Do you want to celebrate? Where do you want to go?
No Bear, no Suns. Nah,
Yeah.
just kidding. Nah, I'm so sad that he wasn't playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it has to be said, this has to be the Suns' last loss of the season. That's it now. They put that on the board.
Yep.
But 2 weeks is a long time in football, Morgs. It
Definitely.
is. Remember only 2 weeks ago, the Giants lost to the Dogs by 88 points.
Yep.
Like, how long ago does that seem? When you're winning, you start to forget everything. So it starts to get washed away, especially towards the back end of the year when you're always starting to look more forward towards finals. So the Giants beat the Suns at their own game. So the Suns were the best first quarter side in the AFL. The Giants were 12th. So they spoke about that before the game, and they came out and they did exactly that. So they beat them in their own game. They smacked them in the mouth. It was 5 goals, 5 to 3 goals, 2 in the first quarter. And they never really came back from that. So you listen to Touk Miller after the game, and he said, we were flat. We never really got any momentum back in the game. We're really disappointed by the efforts. We've got a 6-day turnaround, and we're hoping to beat Port Adelaide next week in a really big game and finish off the year. Oh, obviously they've got the Essendon game, but to come through in the back end of the year. And that's what it looked like. They were saying as well before the game, they had circled on the board Matt Rowell in their locker room. So there was Matt Rowell reading and then circled. So Tom Green went to him for majority of the day when they were at these big contests, and Matt Rowell just wasn't able to get his outside game going. So I think he still finished with the 25 touches. He had a lot more handballs, but he only had, I think, the 2 kicks to about halftime, 2 or 3 kicks. So he just wasn't able to get any of his run going. Ended up kicking a couple goals, got on the end of a goal, got on the end of some really good handball chain. But this is what the Giants needed. They just needed another beatdown. But being 15-1 over a side since 2014 is actually wild. Like,
crazy.
It's just the biggest mismatch in sports. Like when you've got 2 different, like I know you've got 22 out there every time, and you always have their number. It's just a bogey side. And maybe if they face up against each other in a final, the Giants would feel really confident. But again, sometimes when you've got the wood over a side, and then if the Suns finally get on top of them, they almost feel they can't get back. But yeah, that was really disappointing by the Suns. I think a lot of players, I think Brownie was doing the call. I love it. He always says, yeah, this player lowered his colours, this player lowered his colours, which is pretty much just calling him a coward. But yeah.
I heard this morning Kate McCarthy said that they scored 4 goals from a kick out. So the Orange Tsunami was in full flight GWS.
Yep.
The average is 4 points. So 4 points in a game, and the Giants kicked 4 goals. So they obviously had a small tweak to their game plan for sure. 2 things I wanted to point out. So next week they play this is the Suns, sorry. They play Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. Obviously, they had that horrible outing against the Crows at Adelaide Oval. And I also think it's looking like they might play the Crows first week of the finals at Adelaide. So I reckon this is a really good matchup for them to be able to get the monkey off their back about Adelaide Oval, play a very sorry Port Adelaide, and then you've got the Bombers at home the following week to tune up. Yes, as Bailey said, like we spoke to him this week, Das, about we sort of said last week, did the AFL underestimate the Suns by not sort of dealing with that game, that opening round a bit differently? Because if that was top two sides, there's no way knowing they would have probably done the same thing. They can just play in the bye week. If that was Collingwood and Geelong, and they're the ones not getting a rest before finals, that would not have happened. And I reckon they underestimated the Suns and what they were going to do, and make finals, as high on the ladder as they're going to be. But as Bailey said, like this, maybe it's a good way to tune up against the Bombers again. No disrespect to the Bombers, just at different parts in the season. So play Port, get the monkey off your back for Adelaide Oval, beat the Bombers at home, and then you're absolutely cherry ripe to go back to Adelaide Oval, off a win at that venue, and who knows what you can do.
Our man, Jai Farah.
Yes.
He sliced 2 off his boot, either direction, left and right, 45 metres. They were 2 of the biggest shanks I've ever seen. So, Jai Farah, you need to get back just try and get back in the nets. And also, Mac Andrews. So, I was going to wait for the pod last week. I forgot. We're going to say it this week. So, I've realised why he's not playing well this year.
Okay.
Because it takes up to 370 days to count $1 million. So he's still counting his cash.
Yes, of
That's
course.
why he's not playing good football.
Yes.
So he's there every day. He's just counting dollar notes. So it takes up to 370 days. So by the time next year, he might actually be back playing good football. Because at the moment, he's having no impact on games. Like none. The things that we were seeing last year, how he was intercepting, running off, able to go forward. He's just behind the man. He's not intercepting. He's not running off. He's a magnet out there where it's like his name, and because he's being paid, they keep him there. Like, as I said, I'm not sure who they've got from the twos to come up and replace him. Probably no one. And the fact that he's got the talent, you're just banking on this is going to be the week. But he has to have a big game soon.
I wonder if he was told to pull his head in, maybe. I wonder if he was given a tap on the shoulder and just said, hey, some of this stuff, obviously earlier in the year with Phil Thorpe, I just wonder maybe was he told to just rein it in a touch and he's lost all confidence. I don't know. I'm looking for answers.
Yeah, no, he still has to play with the edge. He has to go play with the edge.
Sure.
2 things I want to touch on though. Toby Green, another awesome game. He took a nice little hanger. He just goes through and he just kicks the goals. It's just what he does. So I mentioned to Bailey the last 5 times that they've versed the Suns, he's averaging 16 disposals and 3 goals.
Yes.
That's averaging his last 5. So yesterday he had 19 and 2, which will probably help that average. Like touches go up, goals come down. So it's pretty much, he's almost averaging 18 and 2.5 goals over the last 6 games, which is wild. And also, I just want to give a massive shout out because sometimes if you bring an inclusion into the pyramid, I know I'm only taking over just for this week, but Finn Callahan absolutely has justified himself. He was best on again yesterday. He was cramping a little bit. He still went back out there. He is an absolute Rolls Royce. He's huge. He rolls, he moves. Fuck, you can't even, I think Jev described him like he sort of moves like Judd, but he's a lot bigger than Judd. But he's got an awesome left foot. And I think him and Tom Green are really coming into just the inside, the outside player. They're waxing really well. Tom Green's able to go stand on players. And they just, again, look like they're getting right at the right time. But it's just like another one of those sides. They got smacked by 88 points. And you're like, what happened? I can't believe 100% on them. Not that you can believe on many other sides, but you just if they lost by 10 points, 20 points, you're like, all right, no, they're still there. But just losing by 88 points, it just makes you think, it's like, what happened there?
For sure.
But again, they're an awesome side. It was a great win. Great win yesterday.
We touched on it, I think, on that week, but I do think it has something to do with Toby Green. I do think the way that the players stand so much taller with him, and I think that's probably a dying art of a captain in today's footy in terms of the effect you can have on a whole group. But there's something about Tobes, I reckon, the way that players, again, that was that Sydney game, the way he copped the spray at halftime, apparently was all directed at him, and Kingers just went to the group through Tobes, and then he was the one to lead him out, and they turned it around. And then obviously they didn't have him against the Dogs. I reckon there's something there, definitely, how important he is just to be out there.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. 100% agree because, yeah, he was the one that was missing in that Dogs game. Just quickly want to touch on your two men. So you posted yesterday. I'm going to tell my kids this was Ralston and Gruchevsky. So they just came out and they were just kicking goals, Morgs.
Insane.
That was
4 and 3. 4 and 3. 4 for Ralston. Was it Gruzewski?
Gruchevsky.
It's a silent SH3. Unbelievable. 7 between them. Just sun killers. And credit to them. They got their, obviously hard to crack into this side, but with some injuries, got their chance. And yeah, they'll be stalwarts of this competition for a long, long time. Clip that.
Yeah, 100%. We have to. So great win. I just can't wait for the finals. Can't wait to see who they match up against and where they're playing.
I think as well, I reckon good result for footy fans. I reckon we've been starved. I think Giants winning that was probably good for footy fans. Mm-hmm. Suns have the game in hand, 4 points behind now with that game against the Bombers. So yeah, I reckon had the Suns won that, and yeah, the Giants, they go back down to 8th, and it makes that race interesting. But now it is all heading towards winning in next week, Dogs Freo.
Yeah.
Which is what we want, the Guts Up Cup.
Guts Up Cup, exactly. Exactly what we wanted.
Unbelievable. Good stuff. We move on. So we got 2 Friday night games. Do you want to go the good game or the bad game?
We'll go the good game.
I suppose they were both actually... Oh, okay. You want to go Brisbane first?
Yeah, we'll go the Lions.
Probably the worst game, to be fair. But yeah, Lions beat Freo. Unbelievable bad loss for the Dockers. 101-44. They got it done in a very was hoping to be a cracking game. They Fox Footy even flew Gary Lyon over there.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, they've hung their hat on this game, and then it was a bit of a fizzer in the end. 57 points, 5-14. The Dockers kicked 15-11 from the Lions. We roasting or celebrating?
A bit of a celebration. So I went to do a stat on this, and I was almost correct until I got down to the last little bit. But I'd already put in the work, Morgs, so I'm going to read it out. But
Smart.
It's not quite true. But primetime underdogs again, Morgs, they get it done.
Yes.
$2.10 Brisbane were playing, but there's nothing scarier this year than the Lions off a loss.
Yep.
So round 6, they lose to Collingwood by 52. The next week, they beat the Saints by 45. Round 10, they lose to Melbourne by 11. The next week, they beat the Hawks by 33. And then you know what's scarier than coming off one loss to Brisbane? Coming off a double loss. This is where the stat didn't work out. They forgot their own rule. So round 13, they lose to the Crows by 5. They forgot their own rule. They lose the next week to the Giants by 11. Then the next week, they beat the Cats by 41. Yes. Then they lose to the Suns by 66, beat the Pies by 27. They lose to the Swans by 2, and then they smack Freo by 57. So apart from that little blip in the middle of the year where they forgot their own rule, there's nothing scarier than facing Brisbane off a loss.
Of course.
So this game, I was so happy with. I was so happy. I love Brisbane. I just love their players, love Fags, love how professional they are. They feel like they never get too high, never get too low.
Yep.
Dunkley is just the ultimate pressure player. Like you would love to play with him and Max Gawn. I'll tell you what, like Max Gawn the ruck, and you'd love Dunkley next year. He's just the ultimate professional. They just got bullied. So they try to minimise. They said in the commentary they try to minimise Sarong. They didn't want to get him the ball. Yes, he still got his clearances, but he wasn't able to get his outside ball moving. So they put Zach Bailey in the middle. They're like, who are we going to get to fill the void of Neil? And Zach Bailey just ran wild. So the first half, probably could have kicked 3 goals in the first quarter. He finally hit the scoreboard. Cam Rayner was hitting the scoreboard. We mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, I think on the roast, if you could be any player and you could jump into his body, who would it be? It's almost Cam Rayner.
Yep.
He's just fucking huge. He's taking marks, and it looks like he's finally having some fun with footy. So he's giving shit to the crowd as he goes through.
Yeah, I loved that.
Logan Morris, he's not the quickest. He's not the strongest.
Just a forward.
He just times the ball, comes off his man, sees where the drop of the ball's going to be, and he just kicks snags. He just makes things happen. So I love Logan Morris. I think he's edging in on close to 50 goals this year. Let me just double check that. This year, he's kicked... I know he's kicked 71 in his 40 games. So however many of them have come this year is wild. So can they win it, Morgs?
Of course I can. course they can.
Do you see them? Where are they going to finish? Probably top 2. Are they going to finish top 2?
Yeah, it looks like it. They'll be finished second if they win next week.
That's awesome.
Yep. Absolutely, they can win it. I stand by. I think we're headed towards the best final series in a while.
I hope so. Yeah, I love all the matchups. So Charlie Cameron's finally kicking a few goals again. There's other times where players aren't stepping up, and then you get guys like Jasper Fletcher that come out and have a career game.
Insane.
He's a freak. They've just got so many weapons. You just wouldn't want to mess up in this side because it feels like next man up. So here's a question I've got for you. Bruce Revel, the Breville.
Oh, the Breville, the toasted ham and cheese.
Is he playing in a grand final this year? I just can't see him being swung out of this side. I think he's played 11 or 12 games this year. Let's say it's 12. I think they're 11-1. They just don't lose when he's in the side.
13 touches, 10 kicks, 1 behind. So decent amount of impact.
Is the Breville in their best 22?
Well, with that form, yeah, you'd have to say. I want to very quickly touch on another one that we got sent in here. Our man Connor O'Brien, big fan of the show, very loyal follower. So shout out to him. Just Jai miss. That's all he said. I scrolled down to the very bottom on the stat sheet. 1 behind, 3 disposals, and it screams of Freo last year. What did they need to win? They needed to win 1 of the last 3. They dropped all 3. Is that correct? I could be wrong on that.
Yep.
Something similar to that, but it just screams of that again. And you have to wonder, it was Kingy on the pulse. Does it stem from the top? The way they play, that defensive mindset, does it not give them the confidence to be able to go out and score in these pressure situations?
Well, it felt like at stages of the game, it was pinballing, and they're like, they're actually going to try and match them. They're going to go back and forth. So I feel that they actually... I know this might sound stupid looking at the game, but their game plan wasn't that bad.
Okay.
They just kicked 11 points to start the game.
It's fair.
They could not get any scoreboard pressure on. Like, you need to get a bit of score. As you said, Morgs, your coin phrase, bad kicking's bad football. If they had kicked 5 to 6 goals straight and then they put that back on the Lions, then you've got a bit to play with.
Yep.
Like, the Lions almost look like they weren't scared because, like, fuck, they're not kicking goals. Like, let's continue to match fire with fire. And then they got on the end of a few really nice runs of play. But, yeah, they're just... Swiatkowski, smartest man in football. Can't hit a target. How smart are you now? Shy Bolton, they get him in. He looked a little bit banged up. Only the 9 touches. Nat Fyfe, they get him out. They wave him off. Awesome. Champion of the game. But again, they kept subbing him in and talking about him being, he's going to be their sub player coming in towards the back end of the year. I'm not sure that's the case. Like, why? I just think you got to rip the Band-Aid off.
I think it's really interesting. I heard during the week, I think, was it Daisy Thomas said he would really consider not playing him at all. But then Adam Simpson said after the game, he said that maybe they need to change it up and not have him the sub, just start him. So maybe do you think about starting him, having a bit of a quicker, fresher player on the bench? So rather than doing it in the reverse, bring him on, start the game, hopefully get off to a good, solid start, and then bring on some fresh legs. I think they've definitely got to do something.
Maybe like a Neil Erasmus.
Yeah, very much so an Erasmus-type job.
I know he's playing... Actually, no, Gary ripped shreds through him. It was so good. I think it was the start of first 10 to 15 seconds of last quarter, I think. He gets the ball, he's on his left foot, and he just misses a target, and Gary just goes through. That's the end of the game. I mean, if you're not up to it, you're just not up to the standard. That's the difference between a top 4 side going for another premiership and a side that's just on the edges. Like, he just went through Erasmus, and then it went end to end. I think Bailey was having a shot for goal, and then they just zoom in on Erasmus, and he's just swearing at himself. Like, you're just not up to it, Neil.
Gary just not familiar with our man Erasmus' work, I would say.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to quickly mention, because I just like checking in on these. Last night, don't know if you caught it on Super Saturday. So Jack Rewalt's gone for one of his takes.
Oh, no.
He's talking about Freo, and he's basically said that he thinks that something needs to change. It's basically what he said, and I'm sort of fumbling this because he fumbled around. I'm trying to not misquote him. Then he sort of said, like, the game plan's not right. And then he said, if they're not going to change the game plan, maybe it's the coach. So then Kingy's jumped on, as he always does. And he looks at Jack and he makes sure he's understanding, like, so we can all understand what Jack's trying to say. Yeah. So then Kingy goes, now, can I just back up? Are you saying that they need to make a change on the head coach. Because Jack's like wanted to say it but didn't say it. And he goes, well, if it's not the game plan, I think they need to change the coach. So Jack just sort of finangled one in there. He tried to say it, I think, just tried to jump on the back of Kingy's take all year. And I cannot wait. Obviously, next week, Guts Up Cup. It's all signs pointing because you think the Dogs would win against Eagles today. Next week looks like win and in. I think that'll be the Sunday Arvo game because they're going to floating fixture. So how good,
mate? Jack Rewald tries to come out and say that many fucking takes, and then Kingy pulls if you watch like other pods or shows, a lot of NFL, our American shows are pretty good at someone will tell you a take. Say it's me and you talking like this, you'll say a take, and then they just sort of move on. So they allow it to get out in the air, and then they just move on to the next thing. And the fact that Jack says some shit, and then hoping that Kath will just move on to the next thing, it's like, sweet, I put it out there, I got away with one. Kingy pulls him up on all the time. He's just like you can see when he says it, sort of props up next to he's like, sorry, Jack, what was that? And then you hear just the shark, beep, beep, beep.
It must be tough, though, because, I mean, he's obviously earlier in his career, he's trying to have some takes. So I do feel for him a little bit. I just find it so funny that Kingy's willing to call him out on him. I love, he's round 13, I'm pretty sure he came in and said Hawthorn can win the premiership, which I love. That was an all-timer. So we should move on. The Dockers just absolutely dog it. The Freo Doggers, win and in next week. If you don't win, it's going to be all sorts. We might have a guest next week, won't announce it because we know our history with announcing guests and then how that turns out. But could be someone from Perth, which would be handy to have if they're to lose against the Dogs next week. So again, won't announce that until he's on the air, but you never know. Last game of the round, we'll do this very quickly. Essendon versus St Kilda, 77-75, 11-11, plays 11-9. Nas gets it done again, kicks an awesome goal in the third quarter. Das, again, are we celebrating or roasting here?
Despite the Bombers losing 11 games in a row, Morgs, they've actually had a crack the last 2 weeks.
Is this? I'm not sure if you're sincere or not.
They had a crack against... I thought they had a pretty good crack against Geelong.
Definitely.
I thought they had a go against the Saints.
I agree.
They had a chance to win it.
Yep.
They came out. They played their tails off. So what have the Saints won their last 4? I don't think anyone would have put them close to winning this game.
No, for sure.
I can't remember what the line is. I'm sure I got it screenshotted somewhere. But I thought they had a crack. Mason Redmond had a shot from outside 50 with 3 seconds to go to win the game. Some of the umpiring in this game, both ways, obviously being a mutual supporter, and we never usually try and beat up on the umpires, but they were fucking deplorable. Yeah, they were so bad. So
the one where Mason Wood was in the ruck, and he said, "Mason, you can't be in the ruck," and then contested for the ruck, and then call play on. It was so bizarre,
unbelievable. But Mason Redmond had 36, almost had the game winner. And some people were asking, so Bombers fans, if you're listening in, did he have his best game for the club? And unfortunately, these aren't the games you want to be saying he had his best game for the club. We've lost 11 in a row, but the 35 touches, do what you want with it. Sometimes he has, they get touches, a lot of the Bombers players, but don't have maximum impact. But I felt he really played well. I thought they came in with a pretty good game plan and they were able to hit the scoreboard a little bit, obviously flicking between the 2 games. But geez, I think the topic's always going to be Nas, and it just sounds like he's going. Like I said it, I think 5 weeks ago, after I heard an interview, and I'm just like, that doesn't sound confident. That does not seem confident at all.
And the thing that this might be just too obvious. Would he have not just signed by now?
Yep, you would have.
He would have just signed.
Yep, you would.
How good would it have been in a perfect world if you're the Saints and you're someone that's staying at the Saints, win your last 4, sign the deal. You might drop one. I don't know who they've got next week. And you go, great finish to the year. Can't wait for pre-season. We go again.
The only way you wouldn't is if you're waiting on, you're like, hey, I'm only going to stay if we get this player. So I need to wait to see if he signs, then I'll sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely fair. One, he just doesn't strike me as that sort of guy. He seems quite reserved and pretty calculated from what you've seen. And the other thing is, surely he's not that dependent on TDK. So is there someone else? But surely, because one, TDK's gone. You can tell just by not a knock again, that he's gone. He's there. So he knows he's there. Is there anyone else he's waiting on? Because it just doesn't seem like there's anyone else. And I just don't think you're waiting for the end of the year to see what happens with him. Even Harley Reid's not going to change his decision, I don't think. So, I'm calling it. I think he's gone. I'm shattered for Saints fans and just footy fans, but he looks gone.
Yeah, I agree. Quick roast here. I didn't watch the entirety of the game. I watched most of it, but I was locked into Brisbane Fremantle. Mateus Philippou.
Oh, no.
Did he go take a poo? Because 71% game time, 71% for a measly 4 touches.
Right.
Where was he?
Yeah, you know what? I'm sympathetic for him, though. I just think, like, what's his role? What is his role?
To be a game winner. To be the game winner and to be an impact player. To go get yourself 15 touches and have 2 goals for now. And then eventually, I reckon they see him as being a Dobe, a 25-1.
Yeah, but I just don't think that's a fair way to assess someone that young. It's not. I honestly don't think that's fair to judge Dobe on that. What's Dobe like? Hey. Dobe's role is to win the game. It's like, all right, well, he's probably not match fit to win the game.
To be like, that's what they see him as, an X factor player, to be in positions to go win games. But the fact is, like, that's what they see him as an end goal. But like Petrarch, like, he's not even going out and just winning the ball. I know he's coming back from a bit of injury, but I feel they expected a lot more from him coming in towards the back end of the year since being back.
Can you imagine, though? Can you imagine Ross Lyon going up to him and go, mate, defend, be accountable when you got to be accountable, but otherwise, I just want you to win the game.
Yep. Oh, no. No, but
no way you can hear Ross saying that.
That's what they draft him as. They're like, we see him as a match winner. But for now, we want him to be going out and kicking a goal a game. We want him putting pressure on and making things happen. He's meant to be a playmaker. You know what they saw him as? I feel, you know who's more of a playmaker than him? Murphy Reid. And he's a young player. So Murphy Reid, you see him as like a match winner. He's got that. That's what Mateus is meant to be doing.
Yeah, although Murphy Reid's role seems a bit more well-defined, though. His is more in being in the right spots, applying pressure, being a fifth option. Whereas I don't think that Philippou is his role is as defined as Murphy's.
That's what he's meant to be doing.
Yeah, but it looks like he's confused. Do you know what I mean? It's like maybe Murphy Reid has a more well-defined idea in his head what his role is. Well, I can't believe we're arguing this. It's actually awesome.
No, this is the argument. This is what Mateus needs to be doing. Instead of going to take his shit, instead of 71% game time, he took his GPS to the toilet with him. That's why I kept ticking over. Something else I really wanted to mention in this game. I
go on too.
You know what a ruckman's dream is? Every ruckman ever. To play on a 2025 Todd Goldstein.
Come on.
Well, apparently there's whispers that we're going to be seeing a 2026 Todd Goldstein. Yeah. And I heard that Aaron Sandilands has put his hand up to be the third ruck option at Fremantle to come back. Put Luke Jackson forward, put Darcy somewhere else. I'm coming in to play against a Todd Goldstein in 2026. He's a ruckman's wet dream.
Yeah.
This is what every single player... I heard Dean Cox might not coach next year to go back to West Coast to play him. Or he might even ruck for the Swans. He might play a ruck.
It's incredible mail you've got.
I heard Prendergast might come back.
Now you're talking... No, I heard that same thing. I was wrapped. But I'm more wrapped for him. Like, what's he on? He'd probably be on like 400.
Yeah.
Just another 4... Like, where else is he going to earn 400? So he'll microwave himself for another year, take the 400. That's no worries. I'm absolutely wrapped for him. Can I just give out one more shout out?
Todd Goldstein will microwave himself for the next year and then just walk himself to the morgue.
I've got some stock that I can purchase. I've sold some stock on your opinion of Philippou. So I've got something to spend. I sold my stock. I'm buying Hugh Boxall stock. Boxall stock.
Box cutter.
I want you to keep an eye on him. I'm just saying that I am buying real estate on Boxall Island. I'm all on this guy. He can do it all, and just keep an eye out for the next 5 years. And I wanted to be the first one to say it. Hugh Boxall, 38. Dale Morris's favourite number for the Dogs.
That is an awesome take. Can I say, Bombers fans, it was only for a quarter, I think. Isaac Kako got to play a little bit more in the midfield. You've got to get him going. Yep. I know, these players might take a while, but he's a high draft pick. He's meant to be, like, he can show a bit. Again, one of those X-factor players, and sometimes they just need more touches around the ball. Like, I know I'm definitely not comparing him to Isaac Rankin, but, when you got these real good players, I know when he was at early days at Gold Coast, played a lot more forward, but you give these guys chances to come up to the ball a little bit more. And when you've got nothing to lose, sprinkle him in there a little bit more. Like, just get his hands on the ball, He's crafty. He's smart. He can do a lot with it. So I enjoyed watching that for a little bit.
Can I piggyback on the back of that? I think it's one of the most overrated sayings that he knows his way around goals. Because I think everyone knows where the goals are, but it's about getting the ball in the spots to have the shot. And I think Isaac Rankin is the perfect example of that. He knows how to get the ball in those tricky shots and then throw it on your boot. Yeah, you got to have the skill to kick it, but I think more people have the skill to kick it than realize. It's about getting the ball, and that's what makes him, an impactful midfielder. He's not going to have 30, but he has 15. I think that's a great call. Give him a run up. Go against the Suns next week or 2 weeks.
Is this Jai Menzies' last season of AFL football?
Oh, I'm the wrong person to ask.
I'll ask you, though.
No, I got no idea.
Give me a yes or no.
No, I'll give him another year.
You are giving him another year?
Yes. So it's not his last.
So you're not cutting him?
No, I'm not cutting him.
I'm
not well aware of his work. Hey, we've got to put a bow on this because if that's what we're asking.
I've got some odds.
Nah, we'll do it at the end.
All right.
Yeah, push it back. That is the first part of the Sunday roast. We will come back following the 3 games today. We might go halfway through West Coast Western Bulldogs because that game will be over by quarter time. But we'll be back first half, second half coming up next.
If you guys are
Sunday roast.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, I look like a Simpsons character. I look yellow.
Yeah, you do look yellow. You might need to flick that light. Thanks for being here. Come on. Welcome back, Doe. Part 2. What a fucking ripping day of footy that was. 3 absolute bangers. We are going in order, Dust. Let's get straight into it. North Melbourne, Richmond, down in the Apple Isle. I heard that about 5 times. I'm sick of hearing it, but we got news to talk about. A record, well, it been equally had, I suppose, not broken, but Sheezy Ball's ass. He's all the story.
Yeah, 100% he is. So we thought there might have been a chance that he'd get there. I think he had like 28 and 2 at halftime, 40 at three-quarter time, and then he had to get the 14 to break. To equal Tom Mitchell. So I've gone back and had a look at some stats. So obviously he finished with the 54. Tom Mitchell had actually had 50 on the dot twice.
Wow.
As well as the record breaker, which is impressive. Lockie Neal and Scott Thompson both had a game of 51. Barry Price brought his own footy to a game in 1971, Morgs. He had a 52 burger for Collingwood against Fitzroy.
Oh, yeah.
We all remember Gary Ablett had 52 against the Pies. Diesel Williams had 53. And then Tom Mitchell and Harry Sheezel both hold the record with 54. But I must say, because I do remember this, and I had to go back and just double check the game, Greg Williams, Diesel Williams, is still more impressive than their 54. So the story goes, so it was Barry Mitchell, who's Tom Mitchell's old man, played with Diesel Williams in Sydney. And obviously when Tom beat his record of 54, he messaged Diesel straight away. He's like, how does that feel? Tom just broke your record. And he's like, mate, it's all right. He had 54 cheapies. I had 53 and still kicked 6. So I went back and checked it. I looked it up. Swans versus St Kilda, 1989. The Swans win 159 to 109, so they win by 50 points. Greg Williams had 53 and 6 goals won.
That is a day.
What a game, which makes me want to bring any of the listeners, can you tell us the biggest day you've ever had, local footy, or someone that you know? I think, what was his name? Jack Draper, I think, from our junior footy club, took 21 in under 17s. I think he had 12 or 11 or 12 in the first, and then they just kept feeding him. Like, guys are in the goal square. He was running in, like, they'd wait for him. But what's the biggest day you've ever seen local footy-wise?
Send it in.
True or not, like, semi-true. But if you reckon you had 58 one day, let us know. Who was it against and who do you play for? I'd love to know.
I have heard of some serious numbers in local footy because obviously the Premier Data are doing a lot more stats now. So, yeah, please send in your best and we'll read them out on Tuesday night.
That is unbelievable. But I did say, so the mail was for this game, I had some really good stats on Luke Davies-Uniacke.
Yep. Loves
dominating underdogs. And that was the same. So he was the big one for 25 today. I think he averaged 38 over his last 33 over his last 8 to 10 games there in his career. So he sort of got overshadowed a little bit, but he still finished with 40 disposals himself. So he still had a really good game. So 40 disposals, 17 contested. I think he had 10 clearances, kicked a goal as well. 15 score involvements, which is a monster day as it is. So if you take them both into consideration, it's just multis heaven. So they just had an awesome day. That Trembath Morgs, I reckon. It looks like they found one.
What a win. I just wanted to quickly give a shout out. Sanch Dill from Sanch, our man. He posted, I think Luke Davies-Uniacke had a quadruple double.
Yeah,
he had 40, 18, 22, 10 clearances, and then you could obviously add the score involvements. She's 54 touches, 25 kicks, 29 handballs, 186 AFL fantasy, which is just awesome. I've actually got some odds for this as well. It was a fill your boots game. Do you want to roast the Tigers, or is it not so much a roasting?
They were just shithouse all across the park. They didn't want anything to do with it. Maurice Rioli,
that was awesome.
It looks like he's dropped a bit of weight, though.
He looks really good.
He looks really lean.
Yeah.
He looks quick. Yeah, but I love that. Everyone was pumped up for Sheasel's 50th disposal, and he just knocked him off his legs, which was awesome.
I actually couldn't believe that that the set shot just didn't give him the handball.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think that was a little odd? I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
I feel like they got a bit serious in the situation. It's like, it's one game. Like, I totally get if it was if you're playing for top four, you just go back and kick the goal. But you're up by 39 points down in Hobart. Just give him the quick handball.
Yeah, no, it was bizarre. Something really funny in this game as well. So you had David King. It almost felt like he put his hand up to do this game because he's a North Melbourne supporter.
For sure.
And it was so funny in the commentary, just being like, Caleb Daniel, look, there's been a lot of critics after him. Probably hasn't had his best year. I'm like, you've been the number one critic on it. It's like, yeah, he's copped it a little bit this year. I'm like, from you. You're talking from another person's perspective, which was so fucking funny. So I really did enjoy that. But yeah, everyone got a lick of the ice cream today. Trent Barth kicked a heaple. Paul Curtis Morgs.
Yes.
Kick 5.
Unbelievable.
What a player.
What a player. And they were talking about him winning the best and fairest. Obviously, he had those 3 weeks off, which was a bit iffy. But yeah, what a player. What a star. I got some serious odds here if you want to.
Yeah, go, hit me.
So first goal scorer, Zerha at $10, which was nice. So you couldn't get Cheese for 50, obviously. For 40 plus was 11.50, which is actually really nice.
Nice.
LDU could have laddered him. He was for 35 plus was 10. Couldn't get him for 40. Georgie Wardlaw for 25 was $5, which is really nice. Toby Nankervis?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tobes. 410 for 20, which is really nice. Rucks and touches, it's one to watch at the moment. Lukey Parker for 30 was 550. Then goal scorers, LDU was 325. Shees for 2 was 850. Curtis for 5 was 21. Trembarth was $7 for 3. And then my man Seth Campbell for 3 was $6. So that was a real fill your boots game.
100% it was. Now, it just makes you feel that, like, I know we say it every year, but it's gonna make North feel a lot better coming into next year. The fact that they've actually had a good win, good on them. Good on them. I think that's their last official game down in Tassie. So
yeah, I heard that.
The Tigers checked out. They're done.
Yep.
Well done, Tiggs. And then, Morgs, we get to the next game. So Geelong, Sydney. Sydney had a go. They were up by 20 points, and then the Cats clawed back. So they clawed back, and then they got themselves a very nice win. In the end, it was training work at the end. Like they are a professional side, and they look like that they are ready for finals. But I didn't put this multi on Morgs. I put this on the week before when it was Geelong versus Essendon. I just went back and had the pod. So if you give this a listen, this is what we said.
Feeding them out, follow the balls. Who's looking over there? No one. So we got Shannon Neal for 3, Tyson Stengel for 2, Jack Martin for 2. That's $5.
So that would have hit today. So we did not put that on. That's the old fondle the balls. It's everyone, Jez, look over here. What are we doing down here? What are we doing down here? So I'm so shattered that I genuinely did not put this bet on today. But Shannon Neal, Jared Healy has now named him the new Super Boot after his absolute monstrous kick from outside 50. So Shannon Neal, the wheelchair's Super Boot, Neal. So he's come in with 4 goals. Sean Manor, again, we have professional forwards.
Yes.
So we've got Luke Bruce, we've always said. Jamie Cripps is a professional forward.
Definitely.
And now we've got Sean Manor in there. I'm sure we've got a lot of other ones as well. But makes me think, Morgs, how many other local VFL players, or not local, VFL players could come in and thrive at Geelong?
Yep.
Like, how many could, like Sean Manor, I know who's sitting there and he kicked 6 in the grand final, like, all right, you're good for us, jump on in. And he's just a genuinely very good AFL footballer.
Yep.
Jack Martin, I know he was injury-ridden and I know he was a high draft pick, still wasn't getting the best out of his footy at a lot of clubs. Comes to Geelong, how good? Tyson Stengel, I believe, is at Richmond, then went to Adelaide, about to get delisted, goes there, plays awesome footy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's you just can't, you You can't not respect what they do.
They're
That's
just
the thing with
unbelievable. Like, how good is that
cannot-
today? So with all the focus still on Jez,
Yep.
then you get Shannon Neal to kick 4, Sean Manor to kick 3, Stengel kicks 3, Jack Martin kicks 2, Grind Myers kicks 2, Ollie Dempsey had 1, could have kicked a couple more, Pat Dangerfield kicked 1, could have kicked a couple more. Like, they just got so many mouths to feed, and I think I want Geelong Adelaide.
Yep.
I love Brisbane, and I would love for them to win another one. I think I want Geelong Adelaide. I think that's the matchup I want to see on grand final day.
I think I agree. Ask me next week. But yeah, I honestly think, as we said, the top 4, any of them are good. But I think I agree. Just that little bit of Victorian bias in there, just for some mates to have a team in there for sure. I think that's the one for sure. Said for sure, like 8 times.
Do want to roast in this game.
Please.
Where is he? How many did he finish with? Yeah, only the 1 goal, 12 touches. So Braden Campbell. Me and Jeff talk about this all the time.
Okay.
The most selfish thing you can do when you have a shot, if you're outside 50, A, you hold on to the ball for too long and you don't give the first option.
Mm-hmm.
But B, you wait long enough, and then when you have a shot, it either has to score or you have to kick it to the top of the goal square. Braden Campbell had it 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, had it from about 55, which he can toe poke it from there. He's got a massive shoe. Chad Warner was on, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah, come on. Overlooked him, and then he had Heaney at the top of the square. Instead, he's just toe poked it straight to the goal line where there was 4 Geelong players. And you should have seen the mouthful that Chad Warner gave him. You know when you fucked up and then you don't look him in the eye? Braden Campbell was just looking the other way and Chad gave it to him. I know there was still something in it at that time of the game, but still, it's the worst thing you can do as a forward. You've either got to give it to him or you got to give it to the top of the goal square. Do not put it into that worst position where it's the most defendable ball to get in the game. Either you knock it through, but the fact there were 4 Geelong players on the line on the outside of the kick, it was the worst kick I've seen this year, Morgs.
I love that little roast. Just keeping blokes honest. I love it.
Yeah, if anyone wants to go have a look at the tape, go have a look at the tape.
I'm sure they will. Cats win by 43. Anything you need to roast further?
Well, I'm just shattered that we didn't get to tick off anything on the list.
I know. I had it right in front of the TV.
So, which makes me think as well, last week we joked about, we said we have to go to Sydney.
Imagine we went.
I'm so glad that we didn't go.
We went to Geelong. He kicked 4 goals for, and it felt like he kicked nothing. That would have been atrocious. I still think he can get it done.
Fuck. Well, he's got to kick 20.
I know. I'm hopeful.
20?
I just think people... Yeah, they obviously have to make the grand final now, but the dream is still alive. I will not die on the dream.
So he has to kick 10 next week.
Yep. Or 8. I'll buy 8. I'll take it.
Have the odds changed on that 100-goal thing?
We need to have a look. No, I think 100's still probably... Oh, yeah, probably true. It would have changed after that game. You're right. I do have some odds from this game, Dar. Speak about a Fill Your Boots game. First goal, Haydos McLean at $13. Shagger Near was $5.50 for 4, which is really nice. Shawnee Manor, our man, for 3 was $8.50. Stengel for 3 was $5. Jackie Martin for 2 was $3.25. That's the best bet in football at the moment, the 2 goal scorers. Ladhams, anytime was $2.50, and then he kicked 2 at $9. Not even his old man would have been on that. McCartan, anytime, $4.20, and then the disposals, the only 2 that really stood out. Tommy Papley for 20 with $8, and then Wicks for 20 at $5.75. So some good odds there, but not a Fill Your Boots game as such.
100%. That was I'd love to hear from Jev for more of a roasting. I want a dot point by a dot point. We can go through that over on the pod. But again, Swan season's done.
Yeah,
you could see once they broke him, there was no fight left in the Dogs.
For sure.
Nothing left in them. So
it's kind of weird, but it's almost, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it's almost becoming, not acceptable is the wrong word, but it's almost just become, I don't know, do you reckon it's changed a little bit that once teams know they're not playing finals, it just feels like, I mean, even the last 3 weeks, I reckon, teams that aren't playing finals against teams that are playing finals, after that first quarter, it just feels like Q goes in the rack.
I think...
I can't remember that happening in the past as much.
Yeah, I feel for the players that are safe, you might see it a bit more. Like guys with contracts, it's like, fuck it, we'll mail it in. But I feel there's guys around the edges that are still like trying. Like we may as well segue into the next game. Matt Owens, I'm not sure how many more years he has at West Coast. He missed a goal at 3/4 time on the siren. and he looked genuinely fucking filthy. Like, he's had a bad year.
Yeah.
Like, I still think he was a really good forward at Carlton. He kicked out most amount of goals, most amount of pressure he put on, and we got rid of him. But I think for him, he's still playing for a spot. Like,
For sure.
It's not guaranteed, and for every bad game, you can see that the pressure's going to build up. So I feel for the guys around the edges, they're still having a crack. Rouston for the Giants. But you can't tell me that he wasn't playing his ass off on the weekend to try and get a spot in that side.
It's not so much like, I mean, we both played very poor footy, but it's not so much they're not trying. It's you're always trying, but it's just like that focus trying versus like this effort. You know what it's like, the effort for when you know you're making finals versus the one you're not. It's just completely different. And at the end of the day, they're humans. Yes, they get paid very well, but they're just like you and I. They just get paid way, way, way more than we ever did, and they're way better at footy. So, I don't know. I sort of feel like you can understand it. I think as well this year it's a little bit highlighted because the bottom 8 are so bad. Yeah. Like in previous years, we have had like you're sort of sitting 11th and you're still a sneaky for 8th. Whereas it's just been that Freo, Dogs, GWS logjam, and I think that's probably why it's been such a poor season. But again, I still stay true that we're getting a good final series. I just wanted to quickly check. So Matto is not from? Is he from Perth? No.
No, he's from Victoria.
Yeah, he's from Victoria. I reckon you don't see that too often that players get traded from Victoria to WA. Usually it's someone going home. I reckon that would be a bloody big change. That would be a really big change. It's sort of life-changing. So I don't blame him for being too unhappy. But
a lot of people don't know.
What's that?
He was point guard for Australia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was point guard. He was a baller. Unbelievable basketball player.
Dogs, West Coast does. This was a real this just petered really late. We hung around. We said we won't jump straight on the roast. It felt like something was going to happen in terms of a real bag or a mark of the year, and nothing really came about. It's 126-32, 94 points in the end. We were riding Norton and Darcy, but it just everyone got a lick of the ice cream. West kicked 3, Norton 3, Davidson 3, Darcy 3, Ed Richards 2, Geordie Croft kicked 2. He was really lively in his debut. Look for him. It's going to be an interesting decision. Obviously playing the first game of this close to finals. Jack Rewalt was all over that. And then Bond kicked 2 as well. So just a real ice cream sharing game.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at it. Another 94 points. What's their... Please tell me the percentages updated. So they're, pretty much, or third in the league just. So the best percentage, Adelaide, 141%. Geelong are 140.7. And the Western Bulldogs, 140.3. So as long as they win next week, as we said, they're definitely in because their percentage trumps everyone. So the lowest percentage by far, as you can see, it is the Fremantle Dockers, only on 108. So as we said, the Guts Up Cup, if they win, good. They're in. So
good.
So the Hawks, because their percentage is better, even if they lose to Brisbane, they're in. The Giants, 115% if they win. Even if they lose, they're in. The Gold Coast have to win...
Just one game.
One out of their next 2.
Yep.
Everyone else is safe.
Could you imagine the Gold Coast lose the next 2 and Freo and the Dogs make it? That would be catastrophic.
I can't see it.
Catastrophic.
That is...
That's literally the only result that will mix up what's going to happen.
You know, that's... As a club, that's 2 steps backwards.
That is more than 2.
Like, how much does that kill you coming into next year?
Let's not even spend time talking about it.
No,
they pump Port.
So, let's talk about... Because this game was cheeks. That doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Fremantle Western Bulldogs next week.
So good.
What chance do you... I'm going to check the... Let's both have a guess of what the line is right now. I haven't even checked, but it'll be up.
Yep. I'll go Dogs minus 19.5.
Dogs minus 19. I'll go Dogs minus 16. It is... Dogs minus 21.5.
Ooh.
Fremantle must win and in. We're literally sitting at 4th, potentially be top 4. They're paying $3.50 head-to-head. $3.50. What an absolute slap in the face to the Dockers fans. Dockers, if you back your side and you think you're meant to be finals, we had you finishing on top. What a fucking disgrace.
You know what, though? That's not that disrespectful. When you take into consideration the last 3 weeks of last year, Friday night, like when you put it all into a vacuum, the only thing I will say, I know they don't care about betting and nor should they, but that plus 21.5 is an absolute gift. Like, I'm not saying it's a certainty, I'm just saying the way it's scripted, the way this club has to win.
Dogs are going to blow them out.
Win and in, and one of the teams gets 21.5.
Dogs are going to blow them out.
Nah, I'm taking the points. You're taking the minus 21.5.
Easy. I'll take Dogs 50.
We need to put a bet on that. I'll take that. I don't. So you have to take that opportunity. They don't come around often. It's like Hinge for 15. I said it on the show. Make sure you remember it, live it, and remember where you were when it happens.
Dogs are going to beat them by 50.
Nah, I'm taking the 21. We'll think of a bet. Make it interesting.
Oh, we'll just take the line. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I want the line.
You're going to take Freo plus 21.5.
Can I also point out, most people wouldn't have seen it, but I don't know if you saw crossed hairdo. Almost maybe what I'm going for. A thicker West. So it was like he was wearing a dunny brush. Unbelievable.
Mate, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's no, I'm looking forward to next week. Let's do a quick preview. Essendon, Carlton, Cheek. 7 said we don't want it. I actually rate it. I didn't want it either. Friday night, Collingwood, Melbourne. Also Port Suns. So Suns just have to win that game. Pies just have to win that game.
Quick one on this.
Yeah.
Pies have to win top 4, yeah?
Yes.
Feel like giving away some tickets, maybe?
I actually don't mind that idea.
On Friday night?
I actually don't mind that idea. I think that's really nice.
How many?
4? 4 is a good number.
All right. Let's give away 4 tickets. Are we going to sit them up in the bleachers or should we go?
No, I'll put them on the wing. I think that's a really nice idea.
All right. Collingwood fans or Melbourne fans, if you want to go, we're going to give away 4 tickets. Let's give away. Let's suss it out. But if you're interested, DM tickets in the comments. We'll sort it out. We might do a giveaway. 4 tickets on the wing, level 1 MCG Friday night.
Keep your eye out. I love that. All right, Das, let's put one hell of a bow on this.
Biggest takeaway from the weekend.
Ooh.
Mine was fish and chips.
Yeah, it's good. That's really good. But hey, what do we got? One more week. Then we have the week off, just the Suns. I don't know what we'll do for that Suns lesson. We might jump on and just do 10 minutes of Suns. Then Jev's back.
Let's do a pod just for the one game. Then we'll do a roast just for that game. And we'll dissect it with an inch of its life.
Because that'll be good listening. Righto, seriously, bow this quickly. Thanks for having me, Das. Thanks to PointsBet as always. Thanks to StatMate for getting us our stats all week. What do we got? 2 weeks left of regular season, and we're into finals. We're into the business end. Jev's back. We need Jev back. We need some stronger takes. Good roasting from you, though, today. I probably wasn't good enough, but I thought you really came to the party. So appreciate your work. Appreciate you being here. See you next week.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.